Before we start this week's episode, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Andrew. I haven't really done this in a casual way. I'd like to thank you all for joining us. Feel free to follow us everywhere, podcasts, whichever one you listen to. So this podcast, Dallas Famous, it's sort of tongue-in-cheek, but not. There's a lot of people here that make this town great, and I feel like a lot of them are behind the scenes, and you don't get to see or hear their stories, as well as there's a lot of people on stage in front of you that you don't know their stories. So this is sort of to highlight people that are making it happen here and have made it happen here that you may not have ever heard of. And I hope you enjoy it. Doing a podcast is new for me. I'm usually out taking photos and being in the action, and this feels like I'm in a vacuum. So please join me in this Hoover experience, and let's have some fun. I'm Andrew Sherman. I'm a Texas transplant who has always been in pursuit of art as a career. I've played in bands, pursued an acting career in Hollywood, but I found it behind the lens of a camera here in Dallas, Texas. I was born in New York. I've lived in Chicago, Los Angeles, Austin, but I love Dallas. There's a magical artistic scene in Dallas that mostly goes unnoticed to the outside world. This podcast is focused on what makes it so special and the people who make it thrive artistically. If you don't live here, and even if you do, you might not have heard of them. This is the Dallas Famous Podcast.
So who you gonna be? Who you gonna be when you're all grown up? Who you gonna be? Who you gonna be when you're old for us? Yeah, who you gonna be? Who you gonna be when you're all grown up? Who you gonna be? Who you gonna be when you're old?
Micheal Kervin is a promoter and talent buyer in Dallas, Texas. His company, Time to Fly, helps venues and bands in DFW and beyond book and promote shows. He's a mentor, a family man, and an all-around great guy. Micheal is one of the people that really got behind me when I was just getting started shooting shows, and there's many other people in town who have him to thank for gigs and getting their name out there. I hope you enjoyed this chat with my friend, Micheal Kervin. Okay, I've got here with me Mr. Time to Fly himself, Micheal Kervin. How you doing today?
Pretty good. How about yourself, Mr. Sherman?
Good. So I kind of wanted you to be on because the podcast Dallas Famous can mean a lot of different things. And to me, a lot of the stuff that happens here doesn't happen without people making it happen. And you grind harder than anybody that I know with this stuff. And so I wanted to just kind of bring you on and get to know you a little bit and talk about how that goes. So let's just...
I appreciate that, man, very much. Appreciate being here. That's kind.
Absolutely. Let's start at the beginning. Origin stories of Micheal Kervin. You're from Dallas, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Dallas, but I went to University of Texas, so I left Dallas in '94 after graduating from Jesuit here, and went down to Austin for school. And right at the height of that grunge era, I was really into definitely in the early '90s and going to shows and the Lollapaloozas, and I was already really into the experience and the parties and the good times of live music since probably like Palooza 91, I would say, in the early days of Billy Goat, and some of the good stuff that was going on here locally in Dallas and that was coming through, Nirvana, bands like that, Rage, Tool, those years. And then, 94 comes around and I see Widespread Panic for the first time with my high school sweetheart, I think, and some friends, and, there at Deep Elm Live, and that kind of showed me what music could do for my soul as well as the rock and roll of it. That was a lot of fun too, and so I kind of took that down to Austin and living down in Austin, especially in the 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, and what a scene was going on down there. I mean, what a local example of a healthy local scene every day with local music going on. And so enjoyed that, ran into, the band Larry, who I love so much. Right. It means the world to me. I wouldn't be here today without them. I got a chance to get close to as I was going and seeing Widespread Panic and all these bands and then traveling a lot. I traveled a lot to see them, from Red Rocks to Warfield to you name it, in the 90s. And then when 99 came, I graduated from University of Texas, and within a week hopped on an Alamo Shuttle tour bus that was made into a tour bus from an Alamo Shuttle van. Pretty cool, dangerous, but pretty cool. That we used, and I hopped on the road as a tour manager with those guys from like
Larry.
99 to 2005
With Larry?
with Larry. Yeah. So that was a time frame that I'm not sure what year was what. It was so wild and so much fun and being out there with those guys and living in Austin.
So wait, so you okay, so like that one really quick for me. So
Sure.
you're into music like everybody else, but then you find this deeper connection, and then you did you have
Especially
this,
with the jam scene, the vibe of that community.
Right.
Did you have Panic and Fish and Cheese and all of them back in the day, and
Sure.
at the back end of the Dead and some things. So, but yeah.
But I mean,
It was
so
really that community
asking,
that
what I'm asking is,
turned
so
me on.
you realize you love music, so you're not a musician, I guess. So
No,
so then you just saw
I
your,
play a calculator. Is what how
right.
can I?
But what I guess what I'm trying to get to is, so how did that happen? You just they just asked you to do it before you thought about doing it, or you just
Well, it was something I wanted to get. I was 21, 22, and I
Okay.
was down there, and I was at that point even getting people to come out to the Mercury and getting people to come out to shows and trying to support the local musicians there by bringing people out, having house parties, and then bring people down. And so I got to be real close with them and the guys at the Mercury Club, which was like the White Rabbit. Then I went to the Mercury. Oh, I mean, the year scene, Galactic there, and Jimmy Smith, Victor Wooten, String Cheese, just to name a handful of things that came through this small shotgun bar. And then, got to know those guys and Larry, and just wanted an opportunity to get involved in the work of it. Mm-hmm. So they gave me an opportunity to hop on that bus and go out there and watch after the dollars and cents and make sure A's and B's were being done right, and keeping an eye on those door people, make sure that they were collecting the money they should be and not letting everybody in, and things like that really I could help do. And the merchandise was key, and then A to B safely was the goal.
So you're managing a band, and you're like in it, like you're in the music scene at this point in Austin, which is, like you said, like an amazing scene.
It was such a great time.
And
Great
so
era.
that went on for a few years. We're
Beautiful people.
While you were doing that, where you're like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, how did you start thinking I want to shift?
I just knew I wanted to be around that energy, that scene, the festivals I was going. I mean, we were running around High Sierras and Salmon festivals. We did High Sierra 2001 with Humphreys, doing dates with those guys when they were just coming up. You could tell how good they were then, when they were, right around my age, the time. But it just let me know it's where I wanted to be. It's kind of what I wanted to do. And Larry I thought we were going to go on forever, of course,
Sure.
and then life just has a way of handling itself. And so when that had to kind of taper off, I was like, all right, well, we dropped the agent. And so, well, I guess I could try to book. And so I started to book Larry's, because we had a good home ground in Texas, and we could do Roof Run Texas and do pretty well. Mm-hmm. From the Aardvark in San Antonio to Austin to up there in Lubbock. Oh God, those Lubbock days. Dallas, Aardvark, and Fort Worth, and Dada. Used to play After the Dead thing all the time back in the day. That was just great times with those. So we kept doing that. And of course, Kenny Withrow came in. That's where I met Kenny, and he played with Larry the last year or so.
So wait, so Kenny played, was that before or after New Bohemians had broke?
Oh, way after.
Way after. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, this was just towards the end of Larry with Torrin, and hopefully we can still do some reunion shows with those guys. They played my wedding, which is great. But, that, just love them. They're like family, so forever. And so Jeff Bradbury and Andy Vickers and Tom Vickers and Fee and Spanky and Bob Perkins and Bob and Manette. We had Christopher Rasagi. We had just so many, Nick Chambers. I mean, it goes on and on.
Sure.
And that's how, like a lot of the Bozarth brothers and the Groovin' Grounds and those guys that do Heartburn, and it was a big family that came from those years, and that support system is still there for us all out there in the world, which is great.
Fantastic out there. So you're still in Austin at this point? What?
Yes, I was until 2006. And then I was just about to be 30, and my father was really sick with cancer. And I was coming back a lot for a year to help him go through those chemo treatments, and traveling back every other Wednesday and trying to live in both worlds. And then, he had to give up. It wasn't working, and hospice came in. And so I'm the youngest. My brother and sister both have kids, 3 kids, and they're just busy. And so I came back to Dallas to help him, to the end, basically, and take care of him. Those were tough times.
Yeah.
I turned 30 on April 11th, and he died 15 days later on this 26th. So
jeez.
it was hard, and he was my best friend in the world, and I loved him dearly. And so, I was in a bad place. I could have gone one way or the other. And the Green Elephant was here, and they were moving over to where it is now. It was Home Bar then. Oh, God, the Home Bar days back in the day. Wow. Talk about memory lane. But, gave me an opportunity to book Wednesdays and Fridays. They were just going to do Wednesdays and Fridays. And I knew what it was like to be down in Austin with that healthy live music scene, that local scene, and that, on top of the big stuff and the touring stuff. Of course, we want all of it, but the healthy scene was that local culture. And so I started trying to bring bands in that I knew from all over the place, and then get some local bands here in town. Like, let's work together. Let's get them coming out and supporting each other. Not only, seeing them on stage, but seeing them in the crowd, supporting each other. That was very important. I mean, that's how the New Orleans thread is weaved, and so that was a big drive of mine in those years, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And, just to even change the attitude on Dallas in the jam scene in those years.
Yeah.
That, had a bad rap for nothing going on, or, I was going to some festivals there, 7, 8, 9, 10 or whatnot, out there, Wakas and Bonnaroos, and I was grinding at those years. I mean, still am today, but those were crazy years. And hearing, you're in Dallas now, I'm sorry or whatever, and I'm like, well, oh no, don't be sorry. It's okay. I was like, all right. So I was determined to do what I could, to help change that attitude and energy here, and how can we get the local scene and the local artists here working together, in the realms and the genres and whatnot that I love and hold dearly.
Yeah, it seems for some reason like even a more uphill battle here than other cities. I mean. But,
it's a battle everywhere,
yeah.
But, there's, when you get good people together, man, and all in the same room from 50 to 5,000, whatever, it's the magic, and it's the true juice of it all. And we're living well here and enjoying music around our friends. And, you have to be grateful for that every time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think a lot of people appreciate live music even more after COVID, but there's a core group of people. You're definitely the head of that, of people I know, that it's
just part of the team, man. There's so many great characters and individuals here that.
But I was going to say
bring all that together.
Live music, I just feel like it's just the appreciation for it has gone up. But there's a group of people like you who basically everyone I see at every show who like it's a way of life, just being at a live show, no matter not no matter who it is, but like a wide range of great music,
Right, and my son to be around that.
Yeah.
And tying in, the family of it all. And again, that support system we get from it is like, you think about success in it all, and of course dollars and cents, and we need to create revenue. But
yeah. Well, it's
also just a quality of life, like you're saying, that really is a equal measure of success.
Absolutely. So let's so you start booking for Green Elephant. What point does Time to Fly become a thing?
Well, I was down in Austin in 2005, around that year before I moved back, and starting to book, which I hadn't done. I was just doing tour management stuff and the business management, the accounts, and trying to watch the money like a hawk. But the booking part I had never really done. But I was like, I can do this. I knew the agent that they've been working, already had it. So I started to do that. And then I started talking with, Josh Pearson's in Moving Matter and those guys and other, well, I guess I could try to help book for them. And so I started to do that sort of thing and put them into Lubbock and into Dallas and Austin, wherever I could. I had some, with the contacts in Colorado and things that they worked from, and try to get us all working together again. How, we're stronger together, and let's coordinate. To try to help these bands get out there and help every individual within each band get out there and do their thing was a big drive. And so I created Time to Fly there, trying to figure out a name for it. I pulled it from Surprise Valley, Widespread Panic, and it had to come from a Panic line. I took a while to figure that out, but Time to Fly was what it was. And just to put a name on it, to start booking and doing things in 2000. And then I had to come back to Dallas. And then coming back here, and I was such a small fish in a big pond there in Austin, like there's here maybe needed a little bit more of that, and so that's where the world navigated me from my father's situation, which was an atom bomb for me. But in time, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't, Cynthia and Austin, my family, and all my friends and everything. A lot of what's here for me wouldn't have happened
Yeah.
if I didn't have to come back to do that. And
Yeah.
so it took a while to see that, but you know, that's where, and then Time to Fly started to grow from there.
Right.
In 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and so forth. And of course, Granada Theater and Mike Schroeder. I mean, him have been so friends for so long. He's mentor to me and big brother. And, you know, we used to, when CD World, and I used to run Technophilia back in Austin. We used to trade off CDs back in those CD days, CD warehouse days. And of course, Larry would come to town and we'd go play at his house till the break of dawn after shows. And so I knew that. And of course, working with him at Granada and doing some things in those early years of Granada too was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, coordinating with Sundown, and it's still, I mean, that's family. You know, and of course, you know, Deep Elmar Company and just a lot of good people.
And I mean, I've been at Deep Elm since the beginning, but like for me, Granada, like I kind of stepped in. That was just like this, like it's a pinnacle. It's like a landmark venue for bands to play. In Dallas for sure. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
It is. And it's provided such a great example over the years from way back on how you do it, how you treat people,
yeah,
the energy they're in. And there's been a lot of people that have come through there that have had the pleasure to work there and honor you for whatever their tenures and have gone off and do other things. And they take that energy and they apply it out there in other arenas.
Yeah, there's something about that space. I mean,
and Mike Schroeder and Julia. And
he used to be a taper. Is that true?
Oh yeah. I still have a bunch of his tapes he used to give me.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I just heard that recently. That's interesting. So, I mean, we've already kind of done some of this, but like, give me some more of your like moments, like music concerts in Dallas or venues, or just moments that come to mind when you think of like some of my favorite Dallas bands or Dallas shows.
Oh man, that's tough.
I mean, I know you have a million of them in your head.
That, like, I was just like, as you started the question, I knew you were headed, and it was like just all the stuff flew through my mind.
Right.
You know, I'll tell you, fairly recently, the Lettuce show at Granada Theater was, I mean, I just absolutely love those guys. It was Cynthia's birthday, and that was a really special night. Mm-hmm. You know, it's hard to say. You know, that Billy Strings night at Artco.
Wow, yeah.
Was pretty epic. You know, it was.
It wasn't even that crowded.
It was a point in history, a moment, and so that was amazing. Mm-hmm. You know, seeing what that Snarky Puppy recording down there not too long ago was just absolutely phenomenal. It was really amazing stuff to be around. You know, it's kind of hard for me to really. Yeah, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. There's so many. There's so many.
True.
There's so many moments. I feel like that's all we're doing is creating memories. All the time. And you know, how can I slow them down sometimes? So it's like sometimes engaging these shows is like, how can I stretch the seconds, man?
Yeah.
So it's not just tomorrow.
And I mean, that's for me. It's like I have the Rolodex of photos to go back and remember shows and moments, and you know, it's.
Yeah. See, I need thank God somewhat for social media. Because, you know, with Facebook stuff, I can look back now because I engage that with memories and shots of pictures of people and bands and family moments, and I can see that. But if I like Larry days, man, that too bad at having that because I'm not. I still have some disposable cameras I need to freaking develop. I don't know 2001 to 2004 sometimes. Like, what is it's all the same?
If they're still good or not, I wonder.
Yeah, right. If it's still, I still need to try.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I'm glad that you do what you're doing here because I'm a deadhead, and it's funny. I'm like an older deadhead, I guess, at this point. So I didn't get into a lot of these younger jam bands. So then just getting exposed to all of them. And like, I mean, I know a big...
Well, our relationship, meeting you and having come down and engaging all this to do what you're doing now and all the support we've been with each other
I
and
should say
over the years, it's absolutely...
On Mike...
I treasure it, bud.
Yeah, no, on Mike, I should say you were one of the people in my corner. You understood early on the value of the photos and the social media connection, and it's not like that sounds stupid to say, but it wasn't obvious to a lot of people, and you know,
pictures can speak 1,000 words, and some of those illustrations of people smiling and having fun and bands playing and that energy, you can collage that with a message and an energy of like, you know, this is the place to be, this is and then if you can't do it with us, well then wherever you're at, go see some live music. Be with your friends. Hug your friends. Enjoy life. Smile. Make sure you let people know you care about them.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Well, you can.
It is a good way to, you know. It's like it's. I mean, we getting older, and it's not always a party, but it's still always a good time to go see a live show. You know,
for sure, it has to be.
Absolutely. So, I'm at Artco, or I was at Artco a lot, and I'd see you at a lot of shows, actually all over town, not just there. And I don't know, we have this spidey sense, I feel like, because you love to take photos of the event. Well, I mean, the reason we all take these photos is to document the events, but you were
Right, and I love to take photos. I love taking
Yeah.
photos, especially of people and bands, and
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to be in all of them. I like to take care of others. But yeah,
Right.
go ahead.
Well, no, that was it. Like, and then so I kind of met you, and you started getting me into shoot stuff, and then I guess you take over about.
Oh yeah, no. Prior to you, I was so excited when we met, and we wanted to get involved with that. And I'm like, hell yeah, man, let's. Of course, like anybody else that would ask me for help, and then we developed a good friendship, and you started to come out to shows to take pictures, and prior to that, I knew if I didn't get myself down there, or if I didn't get down, I wanted to get shot of the opener, and like I wasn't down there taking a few. It might not get done, and then damn it. We didn't get it. So it would give me anxiety. It would give me, I would try to get out of the house. I would be rushed because of that, knowing I had to get, and then get down there. And that would be my first thing. I'd come in there. I wouldn't even really listen to music. I'd be right on that agenda. And because it needed to get done. It really did. And it's important, especially in the marketing department, especially when trying to get Arco off the ground at the beginning. And so that would give me a sense of anxiety. And then when you started to get involved, I could relax a little bit more. I could come in and actually say hi to somebody and just go get a beer at the bar.
Right.
Well, I didn't necessarily beeline it right to start taking pictures because I was so worried about that. It was certainly nice. And then, so I really appreciate that energy as it started to develop, and I still do to this day. And then I do think it's funny that I'm gonna take mine too, and I love we get together. You give me some, I have mine, I put it together and make it work. And it's always good to get things from different perspectives and different people. But and then I'll pull out my phone to take a couple of pictures, and I swear you're nowhere to be seen before I pull my phone out. But if I pull that phone up in the air, you beeline it across the room. You're like, no, I got this. I'll take this picture. It is the most funny thing ever. And there's a few people that I've actually tested it with and gone, wait, okay, watch. And next thing you know, you come over. It's hilarious and it's awesome, and I love you for it. It's just fun.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I'm here to take the photo. Like, nobody else should bring out a phone or anything.
I know.
Like, it's my job.
I love that about you, buddy. Keep it up.
That's so funny. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to. So.
Yeah, and I'm going to keep pulling it out and see if I can get you. If I'm not sure where you're at and I want to talk to you, I'm just going to pull my phone up in the air and wait a minute.
It's like the bat signal.
Yeah, it's like the bat signal. That's funny.
Okay, you're a really positive person. This next one might be tricky for you. You don't have to name any names, but all right, give me some things about Dallas you wish could improve. Like, it could be about the music scene. It could be a city thing. It doesn't have to be specific to this conversation, but.
I don't know. That's hard for me to say. I think just to remain supportive of each other all the time, no matter what, even if it's not your style of music or your, and just, be grateful for others and more patience out there, especially driving around,
especially on the road.
That's it. Patience is the key.
Yeah,
I'm working on it every day.
Every day. Cool. Okay, so let's go to a little bit of the mentor corner, because that's a big part of your whole thing. Talk to me first about maybe a promoter or a manager or someone that wants to get into that side of the business. Like, give me some advice to get started for somebody.
Oh man, first of all, definitely the passion and love for it, and there's a labor of love a lot of times with it, and you have to be able to dig that, and then work in different capacities to find out what specific areas you may want to focus on or what you don't, because from tour management or management, it's marketing sides of things, and then there's booking, there's publicist work, very key, good publicists, so many good female publicists out there. Women do such a great job at that.
I feel like it's hard to find them.
And they can be expensive, but there's just so many, and diversify what you can bring to the table as much as possible, so you can create revenue in different ways and make ends meet that way versus the need for one or the other, and then hopefully you can strike it in one avenue or the other that you really want to get into. You know, I guess the love for it has been the biggest drive of mine for 25 years.
I feel like you have to have that because there's too many moments where you're like, what am I doing this for? Nobody's here. I'm not making any money.
The stress fit, it's up and down. It's you're only good as your last at bat. Mm-hmm. You know,
I've said this to a few people. I feel like the person that brings
it's okay.
The person that brings audience to the show should get paid the most because I feel like that is the hardest job there is. Now, granted, certain bands are going to bring people, but if you can bring people to a great show that people don't know about, that is a skill.
True. Well, and the revenue, it's got to be there for everybody.
Well, sure.
You know, the venue has to be doing well, the arts and staff, the people, the musicians on stage. I mean, everybody has to be doing well in that department or
Well, everyone's got to be doing their job. But
right.
I just
true.
Like,
and I just, again, I being part of the team with it all has always been, and I tend to put others first a lot of times.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny about that. It's like you probably, if somebody you're telling you, no, you should put yourself first. I feel like that is the worst advice with this stuff.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to get you very far in the long term.
It doesn't.
I don't think that's good for your inner chi.
Yeah.
To engage anything like that. But you have to have ambition. You can't not. Yeah. But there's a proper balance and there's proper ethics with it all and always remain honest.
Yeah.
As your word is everything. You can put things on paper, stamp it, blood on whatever, but your word has got to be, worth something.
Absolutely.
Don't ever break that.
Yeah. Let's, okay. How about young bands? Cause I'm sure you get hit up by bands all the time. Like we want you to promote us or what can we do to help our situation?
Oh yeah. Oh, and I love that. And I want them always to come up and hit me up because that's what's been back from the beginning for me.
Yeah.
And how I can help them, whether I can physically do it or do it for them, or if I can help advise them or give them some help on 2 cents or whatever I can toss their way input. I'm always there to help. I think you get your good group together. You got to make sure that core synergy is there. And then develop your craft and develop your media, and make sure you're making the most out of every engagement. You're maximizing the content you get from everything. You're connecting the dots and making everything related for a long term plan that you have to be aggressive, but also be patient with.
It's tricky, man. I mean,
it's not easy, and the world will happen, and pandemics will. I mean, prior to the pandemic, man, so things were just flowing so good. We were heading the right direction, and had such a April 2020 calendar, the spring calendar of Arco that had set from the fall before, and my boys Mojo. And there's a couple examples where just things were so flowing so well, and then things happen, and life happens, and you have to keep at it and. Again, be supportive of your bandmates at all times, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's really tricky to succeed, and it's like you got to at least be having fun and having some kind of fulfillment, and probably a day job. I think.
Right, you do need some multiple revenue streams. You don't have that stress and sometimes it's unavoidable. But if you can strategize to alleviate with some extra revenue in another capacity, it will help that cause for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Speaking of that, do you have other stuff going on besides just promoting the shows?
I do. I definitely have family things that I'm involved with, but which is great. I've got a great family support system. Yep. I'm so blessed. Mm-hmm. But I'm real excited working on the Dallas Reggae Music Festival. That's coming up in April. But this is primarily what I do all the time, every day. And whether it's booking shows or helping bands into parties, or there's lots of things I'm doing that are not necessarily promoted situations. But yeah, I'm here at that every day.
Yeah, I think that's important.
And love working for Granada and Sundown and Arco and anybody else I can to support the people that I love. Mm-hmm. Is one of the things that I've been fortunate to do and be able to do, is to work for and with people I care about.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's important to people to hear, that you do a lot of stuff that you don't talk about, because I think the illusion of social media is like, oh, well, this guy's doing this and this is all he needs to do, and this person's surviving on this. It's like, no, I mean, I've got 10 things going back here too.
Absolutely, for sure. And then I'm also, trying to be a good husband and good father, and battle back from some tough a tough loss. You know,
Yeah.
that was not
And
easy
you're-
for us.
And you're playing soccer now too, right?
Yes, I played a lot when I grew up. Played a lot on the Jesuit soccer. Played a lot of club soccer, and really getting back into it. I'm going to play again this spring. I've been playing keeper, and doing pretty well.
Well, so okay.
You know, we didn't win too many games, but I did pretty fucking well.
I feel like that's I can't imagine playing soccer at this age, but
It's fun to compete, man. It's fun to get out there and do the stretches and the warm ups, and then for that full hour before and an hour and a half of the game or so, like my mind is completely blank, and I'm out there just focusing and playing with these guys, and I love the guys on the team, and it's a great escape.
That's cool.
And then I like to compete, man. I never like to lose.
Yeah, no, you're a big sports fan. I know
Yeah,
that. I know that. What's next? I mean, I know the Dallas Reggae Fest is coming up, but what else has you got on the horizon for you?
I am very excited to go to Backwoods this spring and take Cynthia right around my 47th birthday, and after a couple Panic shows there down in Austin prior. And of course, excited for trying to get out this summer with Austin and Cynthia and do some camping and do some fun things with them in the family department.
Right. Cool. Okay. Well, I want to thank you because I feel like without you doing what you do, I wouldn't get to shoot and see a lot of the jam bands that that's my favorite genre. So that's cool. But in general, what you do for a lot of these bands, and it's awesome, and they're lucky to have someone like you in their corner. So thanks again for coming and talking to me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Andrew. Appreciate you.
That was Micheal Kervin on the Dallas Famous Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. You can check us out on Deep Elm Radio every Sunday and Tuesday at 1 p.m. and then again after that on all the podcast places. Theme song Unstoppable by Salim Nourallah. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.